So I want to introduce you to my good friend, very great gentleman, well-off entrepreneur speaker, Mr. David Conigliaro.
A lot of us struggle when it comes to asking for referrals. You know, you want to keep your pipeline so chopped full of referrals that they're just coming from all over the place. I mean, you want referrals coming from everywhere, right? You don't even want to know. I mean, you don't even know where they're coming from. That's how many referrals that you want. But a lot of people, man, they freeze up when they want to. You know, you should ask for referrals because most people, I mean, let's face it, they never think about you, okay, because they're always thinking about themselves, right? So, you know, I had to get on my administrative assistant. You know, I've got a great administrative assistant, don't get me wrong. She makes about 250 phone calls a day for us. She's constantly calling clients, customers, new business, old business, and she'll get them on the phone, but I had to get on her the other day because I said, where are our referrals? Where are they coming from? She goes, oh, no, David, I ask for referrals. And I said, well, how are you asking? She goes, well, I say to them, don't keep us a secret. Don't keep us a secret. Is that good? Don't keep us a secret? No, that's terrible, right? That's like saying, what did you say, Gerald? That's like saying, you're asking me to forget you.
Yeah, you're asking me to be forgotten.
Yeah, you know, literally, when I'm on the phone with people, like let's say I'm calling a customer. Hey, this is Dave. Hey, I just wanted to remind you, you know, hey, you're due. Your car's due, your whatever's due. And he say, well, Dave, now's not a good time. All right? Well, look, I mean, you know, now may not be a good time for you. I understand that. But listen, I need a name. What do you mean? Well, somebody's got to go in your spot. Well, Dave, I mean, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Oh, come on, Mike. Surely you can think of somebody, buddy. I mean, certainly somebody has a car, right, Mike? That you know, right? You say it with a smile on your face, right? I will call customers and I'll act as if I want to take them out to lunch, okay? I'll act as if I want to take them out to lunch. Now, these are last minute. Sometimes they actually go out to lunch. Most of the time, they don't go out to lunch, but that's actually what you want, okay? Call up a customer. Let's say it's 11:30. You know, tell me your name again.
Andy.
Hey, Andy, Dave Conigliaro. My 11:45 just canceled. Can you drive across town and meet me for lunch? No, man, I can't. Yeah, Andy's busy. I can't just show up and drive all the way across town in Orlando traffic to meet you in 15 minutes. It's not going to happen. You know what, Andy? You're right. I was just thinking about you, man. You know, and that's the thing. You want to plant that seed that you're thinking about them. And then they're like, man, you do that phone call 4 or 5 times a year? They're going to say, man, you know, this guy keeps calling me. But they're going to think great thoughts about you, right? So all this really is about planting seeds. Now, you do want to go out to lunch with them too. Don't get me wrong, okay? Because lunch appointments are huge. I'll give you one. There was a customer that we had. He was a whale of a customer. You know, tens of thousands of dollars coming in every single year, and I wanted to take him out to lunch. And I called him up and I said, Bob, I want to take you out to lunch. Bob says, okay, let's set up a time. So I said, how about next week? And he says, okay, great. I said, where do you want to eat? Now, he picked a restaurant. Now, this is a very expensive restaurant. Now, at that time, this is a couple of years ago, at that time, I was thinking to myself, oh, man, I'm thinking small. You know, I'm thinking small. I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be the most expensive lunch ever. You know, I'm thinking small, right? We get there. And, you know, I've got kind of like this bad attitude. I'm thinking, oh, man, this is going to be like a $200-300 lunch. You know, I'm just like, we sit down. He orders. A friend of his comes up. He was sitting at a couple of tables over, comes up, shakes Bob's hand. Bob says, hey, this is the kid I was telling you about, Dave Conigliaro. Guy pulls out his business card. He says, I want your company and our company to partner up. Lunch out equaled sales up, right? So after I left that appointment, I was thinking, oh my gosh, you know, here I was thinking so small. That $200 bill has brought me thousands of dollars, you know, but I was thinking small. People get frozen up over little bits of money, all right? How many of you know by a show of hands, that price is a myth? Generally speaking, price is a myth, by a show of hands. It's only a couple. Guys, I'm here to tell you today, price is a myth. If that wasn't true, if price wasn't a myth, why do you have some hotels like this one that are charging $99, $150, $200 a night? Meanwhile, in the same city, people could stay at a $39 a night hotel. Okay, they're both hotels, but people spend money for what? Value, quality, the experience, right? Price, price is a myth. Price is a myth. Price is absolutely a myth, right? I'll give you another example. There's a guy that drives to a convenience store that's right next to his house where he can buy a dozen eggs. The dozen eggs cost $3 at a 7-Eleven. Does this guy care that he could have gone to Walmart and paid $1.69 for a dozen eggs? And he's like, oh man, I'm really getting cheated here. I overspent on these eggs. No, he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. Dude, guys, price is a myth, right? If price wasn't a myth, here's another one. Why do people spend thousands of dollars a year for season tickets to ball games when they could have watched it on television for free? All right? Price is a myth. How many of you guys agree that price is a myth? Come on, let me see the hands. Come on. Price is a myth. One of the exercises that I did back in 2008 that really transformed my company was I just took out a legal pad and I started writing down 100 problems that I thought I had. 100 problems, right? And then I started thinking about, well, how am I going to come up with solutions to all these problems? I got 100 problems here. See, the first 10 problems were easy. Oh, I got this problem, that problem, this. But after I got past, like 40, the problems were a little bit harder to come out, right? And then I started thinking to myself, well, how am I going to solve these problems? How many of you guys know that the answer to every problem, every single problem that you have and I have in life, the answer to it can be found in a book somewhere? How many of you know that? Right? There's a book somewhere that has the solution, right? Let's say you got a spiritual problem. There's the Bible. Let's say you got a book on, let's say you want to figure things out with the stock market, mutual funds, securities, things like that. Are there any books on that? Oh yeah, there's a gluttony of books like that. Let's say diet and exercise. There's a book on everything, right? So I literally took out a legal pad, started writing down all my problems, and then finding the books that were going to solve each one of those problems, right? The problem is hardly anybody reads books anymore, right? Last year, the top-selling book were romance novels, or the genre of books, romance novels. Romance novels. Like, what happened to business? Instead of people focusing on 50 Shades of Gray, why don't they focus on one shade of green, right? Something that can actually help you, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. How many of you get jammed up by objections on the phone? You're calling customers, maybe you're on the phone or text messages. Give me an objection that some of you might hear, and I'm going to give you some rebuttals that are. Time. I don't have time. Hey, listen. Hey, first rule of selling is always agree. You always have to agree with the customer first. Okay. First rule of selling. In fact, try that for the next 24 hours. All right, try to agree with everyone you speak to, right? Try to agree, 24 hours. Hey, I agree with you. I'm with you. All right, that makes perfect sense. Hey, I didn't see it that way until you said it that way, right? So try to get into that habit. Use that kind of language. Hey, I'm with you. Hey, that makes perfect sense. Hey, I agree. Hey, I didn't see it that way until you said it that way. You know what? I was thinking okay, so you get it. Say it again. I don't have time.
I don't have time.
Hey, what's your name?
Pat,
I understand this may not be the perfect time for you right now, but let me just tell you something. Our prices are going up, and I want to lock you in at a good rate now. So do you got your calendar out? How's Tuesday? How's Wednesday? Give me another one. Anybody?
I don't have the money.
Get it done cheaper.
You can get it done cheaper somewhere else. Sir, I guarantee you are not getting the value by getting it done cheaper. I understand, you want to save money. If you want to save money and get more detail what do you do? Auditing, perfect. Practice saying this. you might want to write this down. Okay. If you want to save money and get more detail for your dollar, I would go with this package right here. Okay? That's a powerful statement. My wife and I were on a cruise in Alaska, and we went into a jewelry store. My wife loves jewelry stores, and I'm like, oh, here we go. This is going to be like thousands of dollars. So she drags me into this jewelry store. We go to this jeweler. This jeweler was awesome. I call that the K close. This is what she said. She said, if you want to save money and get more diamond for your money, this is the ring. This is the watch. This is the necklace. This woman was lethal. Right? All right, guys, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, I want you to pay yourselves more. I really want you to think about how much money do you want to make an hour? How much money do you want to make a week? Really start asking yourselves questions like that. What are the techniques and strategies that you would need to adopt in order to make that a reality? Okay? Start asking yourselves questions like that.